Yes! Yes! Okay, one more time. Yes, it is here. After almost a whole year of creating many videos on the Poco F3, the Poco F4 GT is finally here. So here's my unboxing and my first impressions of the phone, which I promise you will be a very unique experience. Now, starting from the unboxing, the Poco F4 GT comes in a yellow and black box with the Poco F4 GT text on the left, the 5G logo and text on the top right, and the Poco's logo on the bottom right. Then at the side towards the bottom of the box, there's the specs and the color variant you choose. Opening the box as usual, there is another smaller yellow box that contains the SIM ejector pin on the outside, the quick start guide, safety information and the warranty card on the inside. Then there's also the USB-C to headphones jack dongle, very nice, and the clear phone case. Then underneath you'll find the phone itself. Below that there is a rather unique USB-A to USB-C cable where the Type-C is on a side angle instead, and the massive 120 watts smart hypercharge adapter. Now, looking at the phone's build and the design, my first impressions were like, whoa, what in the world? Firstly, this night silver color had one of the most attractive and a unique finish that I've seen in this year, which is like a silver version of Thanos' armor. Now, since this video is coming right after the launch of the phone globally, I'll give you my exact impressions without mentioning any fancy names for the design and the finish that Poco might have mentioned during the launch event. Now, the rear has a combination of a frosted finish on the left and right if you're looking at the phone from a portrait angle, where it is divided with a mirror-like line in the middle with the more similar lines on the left and the right towards the middle of the phone. Then there's another sort of a layer of a frosted finish just next to them as well. Now, something that I found very unique is the shape of the camera's flashlight, which was very reminiscent of a flash symbol instead of a typical rounded flash. Now, speaking of the cameras, it has a medium-sized camera bump and it doesn't wobble if you are typing on the phone when you place it on a surface, only if you press it towards the middle part of the phone. Now, in terms of the other color options available other than this night silver color, it also comes in stealth black and also cyber yellow, where this cyber yellow looks very prominent of a trademark of Poco's color scheme. Now, the Poco F4 GT was not very light, neither it was too heavy, so I felt it had just the right weight at about 210 grams, where it overall felt very solid, especially since it has an all matte finish at the sides, hence it gripped very well in my hands. Now, another very unique thing about the phone is the ports and the button situation, where looking below, other than the USB-C port, there's one of the two uniquely shaped speaker grills, where the other speaker grill is on the top together with the IR blaster. Now, on the left there is the dual SIM card slot, so no micro SD card expansion over here. Then the volume rockers are also there, where it's placed towards the middle with the microphone placed over here as well. Now, once again, this was very unique, and yes, I'll be mentioning the word unique very much more in this particular video. Now, if you thought that was unique, you'll find even more buttons towards the right, where other than the side fingerprint sensor and the power button being placed in the middle of the phone, there is the magnetic pop-up trigger buttons that you could not only use it as a trigger when you're playing games, but also to map it to other functions like launching your camera app, recording video, screen or audio, turn on the torchlight, and change between the silent mode and vibrate mode, or even do nothing. And this could not only be mapped for both sides of the buttons, but also as a double press and a press and hold command. And I have to say that I love how there is a switch to pop up the buttons, but also at the same time, once you close them, it goes down very flush as well, to eliminate any sort of distractions by having lots of buttons over on the right. Then on the front there is the flat screen display, which has the Corning Gorilla Glass Victus protection with the camera hole punch in the middle towards the top of the phone, of course. So overall, I would give this build quality an A+ rating, because I humbly feel that not only the phone felt really extremely nice in the hands, but the overall look of the phone definitely screams premium, so excellent job on this Poco. Now as for the phone's display, it has a 6.67-inch AMOLED display with a 2400 by 1080p FHD Plus resolution and an aspect ratio of 20:9. Now since I've always said that not all AMOLED screens are created equal, so I'm happy to note that the screen on this phone was really excellent, as how the F series has always been. Now compared to the previous F series that I've reviewed, I love how this POCO F4 GT not only has a refresh rate up to 120Hz, but it also has the dynamic mode adjustments, hence saving more battery in the long run. However, there's also an option to choose to force it to go at 120Hz refresh rate or even 60Hz as well. Now it would have been nice if there was a 90Hz option as well, but I guess I'll be using the phone through its dynamic mode all the way anyway. Now as expected, watching videos on the phone was excellent, as it supports DCI P3 wide color gamut with HDR10+, and it's also a 10-bit true color display. Now playback on Netflix was also at Widevine L1 at Full HD playback, and it also has HDR support as well. And the display does go plenty bright, up to 800 nits of a typical brightness, and the auto function on the screen is always adjusted to the right dimming value, which is also a huge plus, as some phones tends to either make it too bright or even extremely dim when the automatic brightness toggle is turned on, and this is thanks to the PWM dimming technology on the screen too. Then finally, due to the 480Hz touch sampling rate, playing games on it was also a really great experience as well. Next, looking at the phone's cameras, the POCO F4 GT comes with a 64MP f1.9 that has an IMX686 sensor for the main camera, an 8MP f2.2 ultra-wide lens, and a 2MP f2.4 macro lens. Then the front camera has a 20MP f2.2 lens. Okay, so I took some quick test shots on the phone, and my oh my, once again, the rear cameras on the F series never disappoints. With amazing photos taken for the ultra-wide, the main lenses, the 2x digital and even the 10x digital zoom as well. Portrait mode for subjects and humans was also amazing, so were the macro shots, and the selfie photos also had great portrait mode and regular selfie shots as well. Then as for video, the rear lenses can record up to 4K 60 frames per second, but that is only for the main lenses, as there is a limit going up to 1080p at 30 frames per second for the ultra-wide lenses. And as usual, even in year 2022, the front video recording can go up to only 1080p 60 frames per second. POCO, I have totally given up and fed up with this limitation. But yes, I will be testing out the cameras further during my full video review, so subscribe to this channel in case you haven't done so, especially if you're watching this video for the very first time, and if you're new, hello there. Now as for the other specs, this POCO F4 GT ships with the flagship 4nm Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 5G chipset. Then in terms of the RAM and the storage configuration, it comes with either 8GB of RAM with the additional 3GB of virtual memory, and what's sweet is that it is using a full-fledged LPDDR5 RAM on the phone as well. As for storage, it comes with either 128GB or 256GB of UFS 3.1 storage, which was also really nice. Then as for the phone software, out of the box it is shipped with MIUI version 13.0.2 for POCO, on top of Android 12, which I'm super glad that it did not come with Android 11 as well, as recently released phones from POCO tend to do that. And during my first impressions using the phone for a couple of days, the software was great with no issues, with really super fast response when it comes to scrolling, navigating through the phone, and even when opening many apps at the same time, and the haptics of the phone was also really great as well. Now since the phone is very catered for gamers, there is the Liquid Cool technology version 3.0, which promises a huge upgrade on the thermal performance, so let's see how well it does for games like PUBG Mobile and even my usual hardcore Genshin Impact hours of gameplay, so stay tuned for my full video review once again, especially with me integrating the magnetic pop-up button into my overall gameplay as well. Now speaking of gaming, I did find the overall audio experience for the phone to be very nice due to its symmetrical quad speakers, and the phone also has Dolby Atmos and high-res audio support. And in terms of the battery, it has 4700 mAh of battery. And one might question why it doesn't come with a 5000 milliamps of battery instead, since it's more of a gaming centric phone. But if you think about it, it will firstly make the phone to be very thick, where I found that the thickness of the phone was just the right size. And keep in mind that this is a dual cell battery, meaning there is technically two batteries inside, which combines to a value of 4700 milliamps. And of course, it supports up to a whopping 120 watts hypercharge, where the charger comes inside of the box as seen earlier. So, what are your excuses, other smartphone makers? And yes, this is the very first when it comes to the Poco brand, and you can charge the phone from 0 to 100% in about 17 minutes and about 27 minutes while gaming and charging the phone at the same time due to its very unique MTW or multiple tab winding technology. Now, there was some negativity surrounding how the phone will go because of the phone's 120 watts charging. Well, calm down guys, because like the Xiaomi 12 series, it has a similar technology that optimizes the charging performance once it reaches within the higher percentage range of the battery to preserve the battery health. And since it has a dual cell battery as mentioned earlier, it will divide the heat emission accordingly, making the phone less possible to have any overheating issues with the battery. Now, as of the recording of this video, there's no official price for the phone that has been announced yet, specifically here in Malaysia. So stay tuned for that, where I will either update in the pinned comment below on the pricing or let you all know during my full video review. So with this, do let me know what exactly that you would like to know specifically about this new Poco F4 GT in the comment section below, and I'll answer them during my full video review of the phone.